morning and welcome to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kinsley Emmanuel, and I'm very happy to be here this morning to bring you up to speed with the latest happening in the world of sport. Top on our menu this morning: Nigerian D Tigers so fast defeats in pre-Olympic qualifiers. Coming from the world of tennis, Venus Williams and biggest career win in 4 years. And in football, danger looms as the Super Eagles set to begin World Cup qualifiers. These and many more will be yours after the short timeout. Please stay with us.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
Back Steve Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me on today's edition of the show is one man that shares the same name with me, Kingsley Woki. Good morning to you and welcome to Sports Talk.
Yeah, good morning, Kingsley.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the National Youth Games because we've seen some states, of course, picking up the tickets for the National Youth Games that will be coming up later on this year. We hear that South Zonal representative in the board of Nigerian Table Tennis Federation and chairman Bayelsa State Table Tennis Association, Ama Ebi, has expressed readiness ahead of the 7th National Youth Games in Asaba Delta States. Ebi, in an interview, said the lads are fully prepared for the games slated from 7th to 17th of September 2023, stating that preparation had already started before the announcement of the games. Now, despite not having the regular Samuel Boboye, Aziz Solanke, and Etin Orok, the Bayelsa State Table Tennis chairman believed that the team is strong enough to stone Nigeria in the youth version of National Sport Festival. He hinted that players like Udo Victor, Kamala, Samuel Fineboy and Matthew Akana have qualified in male category, while Beauty Somiya, Peace Rufus, Princess will represent the state in the women's anointing Moses in para table tennis, having completed the elimination series. The NTTF South Zona boss affirmed that all the players going to Asaba for the 7th National Youth Games are players within range of the championship, and the association would never falsify age for any athletes. He accepted that the association in the coming days would present medals to players who have present medals to players, of course, who have actually put up some impressive performance, as age 10. And taking a look at it, of course, Bayelsa State, they've been one state down here in Nigeria that have actually showed more progress, when it comes to sport. You talk about wrestling now; they're also making a huge preparation when it comes to table tennis, at this point in time. I don't know what you make of their level of preparation, because we hear they've already gotten qualification, in so many sports, and this is one of it. Talking about tennis as it stands, Bayelsa State not only exploring wrestling, but exploring tennis and as well, other sports as well.
Yes, a fantastic one. If your state can be that good in wrestling, there's always room for other talent to shine in other areas. That is what they are trying to do. They're trying to give everybody equal opportunity to be a star or maybe turn out something good in life, and they are trying to bring other sports, not just concentrating on maybe wrestling and football. They're trying to bring other sports into the state and take it serious. And for me, I'm very, very happy. And there's one thing about their programs and plans. They are trying to bring out the new generations. They are trying to bring out talents through the grassroots, which will also represent the state in youth competitions. That's where you blood these talents. That's where you bring them, catch them young, and try to make them big stars and big athletes. And for me, I'm very, very happy they are trying to go into this um, level or go into this sports, because that's where you get talents. There are talents. Everybody cannot be wrestlers. Everybody cannot play football. There are others that have talent in other areas. So you need to bring out these programs, these initiatives, and so you can be able to bring out this talent also. So I like the plan. I like the programs. It should not be only table tennis. Other sports. There are a lot of sports. Over 51 plus sports. I know that we have in Nigeria here. They are very active, and so we should also. They should also explore these other areas because you don't know where you will get the big talent in future. So we should not just concentrate on maybe some few sports. I know that football, wrestling is very dominant in Bayelsa. They take those sports very, very serious. So bringing in table tennis and other, yeah, is very,
Ahead
very
of the national youth games.
games, yeah, because the youth games, the one of the significance of the youth games is to bring out talents that will even represent your state in the National Sports Festival, the main event, and also not just representing your state in the National Sports Festival, also represent Nigeria in other competitions. We are crying of Aruna Quadri being there for a very long time, nobody to come out and replace him or all that, all those kind of stuff. So we need talents that will come out from table tennis. Not just every time we are hearing Aruna Quadri. I know there are other people coming up, but we should have more of lots of Aruna Quadri, even people that will be even better than him. So that's the plan for all this competition. So for me, I'm very happy they're trying to bring out this initiative, and let's see how these talents, whether we will see talents come out and all that. But I know that when you have all these kind of competitions, there must be talents because there are people that will be there to want to prove themselves.
All right, still talking about the National Youth Games, Team Kanu volleyball girls have approached the tickets to feature at the next edition of Nigeria's largest youth sports, that is the National Sports Festival. Of course, it's not only Bayelsa State that are actually putting up efforts for this one. Kanu volleyball girls, of course, they've actually gotten their tickets to participate in this one. And we hear the Pyramid City girls beat their Kaduna counterpart by 2 goals to finish top of for the 2 teams qualifiers series. The Kanu girls have secured their place to the 2023 edition of the games slated for Asaba Delta State in September. In a related development, Team Kanu boys failed to replicate the progress displayed by the opposite sex by winning 2 from their 3 qualifiers matches. The Pyramid City boys beat Team Kebbi boys 2 goals to 0, but failed to fly past their Kaduna and Sokoto opponents, losing 2 goals to 0 to the draw. Still talking about the National Youth Games, Team Kanu hockey boys have sealed a place at the 2023 edition of the National Youth Games as well. The Kanu young lad booked their sport at the national event without seeing actions. Without seeing actions, 2 teams were marked to qualify from the zone. The ongoing zonal qualifiers taking place at Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna State, and Team Kanu and their Kaduna counterparts gained automatic qualification following the failure by other states in the region to register for the event. And we hear that Team Kanu handball team, of course, yesterday trashed Team Kebbi, opened at 25 to 12. The Kanu boys recorded their 2nd win at the National Youth Games. Northwest Zonal Qualifiers handball event taking place at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium ABS Indoor Sports Hall. Team Kanu had 24 hours earlier staged a walk over against their team Kaduna opponents, making it 2 wins in 2 matches. Team Kanu will now take on their traditional fierce handball rivals, Team Sokoto. All right, that is the latest, of course, coming from the National Youth Games qualifiers. To try to kind of course to keep you updated based on the states, of course, that have gotten their qualification already. But let's stay away from the National Youth Games as we talk about the basketball qualifiers in Lagos. Wasn't an interesting day, of course, for the D Tigers of Nigeria in the opener. Now, the hope of D Tigers, of course, emulating the prowess of D Tigers, performance at the FIBA AfroBasket Championship suffered a huge setback as they were defeated by Senegal in the first match of the pre-Olympic qualifying tournament ongoing in Lagos. The Tigers emerged as the champions of the 2023 Women's Afro Basketball Championship, beating Senegal in the final. But the story was different on Monday, which was yesterday evening in Lagos, as Senegal triumphed for the Nigeria men basketball national team 93 to 87. Now, despite proving a hard nut to crack, the host was able to peg back the Senegalese by winning the first quarter 26-35. The French-speaking country pumped up the volume to win the second quarter 46-45. The Tigers, of course, bounced back strongly to win the third quarter 68-67 before Senegal narrowly won the game in the final quarter in 93 to 87 in that particular one. What do you make of this one for the D Tigers of Nigeria? They lost to Senegal in the first game in the Olympic qualifiers.
Yes, I was disappointed yesterday when I saw the results, and for me, they are hosting the D Tigers. They are hosting this competition. It's happening in Lagos, and for me, they should start very well. This is an opportunity to qualify for the Olympics, and you lose a game at home and to Senegal. I don't know what happened. They started the first quarter very well, and we thought maybe they will consolidate on that. They allowed the Senegalese to come back and win that game. Well, you could say, okay, there's still room for improvement. There are still other games to play in Group A to see whether they can qualify to the knockout stage of the competition. But they should take this competition serious. I don't know their motivation. I don't know how motivated they are. But I think this is a very big route to go to the Olympics, and I don't know why they are trying to. I don't know whether they are serious or unserious and all that. But let's just say they lost the first game. They should do well in the remaining games. The people in this competition are also very tough. They are tough teams, and they are not teams you can beat easily and all that. So they should just find a way. I know they lost the game by 6 points. 6 point margin is very big in basketball. So they should find a way to win the remaining games and qualify for the next stage of the competition. Because the plan is to win it, to see whether they can qualify for the Olympics. So I don't know why they are not serious, because if you are serious, you should win your first game. But let's just say it's a one-off. Let's see how they do in their next games.
Of course, talking about the next game, they will be in action against Mali, another strong side. Do they stand a chance?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know their motivation. I don't know who is motivating them. I don't know the players there, if they are also motivated, because they should know what is at stake. Like, you don't even need somebody to motivate you. But maybe some of them are saying maybe when they qualify for the Olympics, they might not choose them. I don't know how they do in basketball. There are so many players that can represent the country. Even the main players are not even in this competition. It's few of them and all that. So I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know what's their plan. But when you are representing the country, you should know that you are wearing the colors of the country. So you should bring out your best. You should do your best to take the country to the next level. I know if everything was in the right order, we should have qualified for the Olympics a long time ago, but it has not really happened. So let's see how it goes against Mali, another very strong side. Let's see whether they can be able to navigate that game and see whether there is still hope for them to be in Paris in 2024.
All right, let's see how it goes for the Tigers of Nigeria. They really have to qualify for the Olympic. The coach of the side, Ogo Dowdy, of course, is very optimistic that in the next encounter they will probably, of course, bounce back, strongly, as it stand. And we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how, things unfold, of course, for the D Tigers of Nigeria. Let's talk tennis as we hear that Jannik Sinner and Hugo Rune achieve a new career high at the latest ATP ranking release yesterday. Of course, Italy, Sinner became only the second man from his country to win an ATP Masters 1000 title after beating Alex de Minaur in the Canadian Open final in Toronto over the weekend. As a result, the 21-year-old moved up two spots to sixth. Australian de Minaur to achieve his career best ranking of 12th after gaining 6 spots. And talking about the latest ATP ranking, Carlos Alcaraz, of course, stands top with 9,395 points, and Djokovic coming up second with 8,795 points. Daniil Medvedev third with 6,530 points, and Stefanos Tsitsipas coming fourth with 5,090 points. Hugo Rune coming up fifth with 4,790 points. Jannik Sinner coming up sixth with 4,725 points. And Casper Ruud, of course, coming up with 4,715 points. And Rublev with 4,595 points. Delafise with 3,605 points. And Francis Tiafoe, of course, coming up with 3,050 points, walking the number 10 position. That is the latest when it comes to the latest ATP ranking release yesterday. Woki, what do you make of the top 10 rankings?
Yeah, I think when you see how the rankings are, you will know that these are people that have really dominated. I don't know what I would say all of them have dominated, but in those events, in those ATP competitions, the Grand Slam, these are the usual suspects we have seen try to make an impact. For me, I'm happy we have the new generation coming up, and the new generation is kind of topping the rankings. Carlos Alcaraz, we saw after losing the French Open finals, he had to come back in the Wimbledon and defeated Novak Djokovic. That was a very big victory for him, and that has really helped him to maintain the top spot in the ATP rankings. For me, very, very fantastic. Looking at people that are there, Daniil Medvedev, yes, we expect him to even do more than he's doing. We have Jannik Sinner and lots of them, apart from Novak Djokovic, who I know is the most experienced of all that are there. I think the new generation, they are trying to make a name for themselves. But I'm looking forward to the remaining season in tennis. We still have the US Open, and Carlos Alcaraz will be there to defend the title he won last year. So let's see how it's going to be in that area. So for me, I'm looking forward to the new generation trying to make something. It's not all about Carlos Alcaraz. I know he's the new kid coming up now, but the other ones should take inspiration from Carlos Alcaraz, because what he's doing now, it shows that he has a very big ambition to remain there in future. So other people should emulate from him and try to be better in the next ATP events and even the Grand Slams coming up in years to come.
But talking about Carlos Alcaraz, you know, we've seen the likes of Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, and as well the likes of Rafael Nadal. They've actually put up a very, very huge legacy when it comes to tennis. These three players, of course, they won Grand Slam, you know, up to 20, you know, and above. Currently, Djokovic is aiming, of course, to get his 33rd Grand Slam, you know, as a stand, probably surpass that record, because it's only Margaret Court, you know, that has that Grand Slam record of 23, you know, as a stand. But how far do you see Alcaraz, you know, go when it comes to dominance? Do you see him, of course, getting to the stage of the likes of Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer when it comes to dominance and legacies?
Yeah. One thing about Carlos Alcaraz is he's won 2 Grand Slam titles, and those 2 Grand Slam titles, he did one on grass. He did one
clay.
No, okay, I don't know. The US Open, I don't know whether it's clay or hard court.
US Open is grass.
Okay, so he's trying to explore other surfaces. For me, that's good. I heard that clay is his best surface, but he has not won any Grand Slam yet on clay. In fact, he lost the French Open to Novak Djokovic. We know what happened. So, for me, he's trying to tell us that in years to come, he's going to win titles. And those titles, it's not concentrating on the clay surface. He wants to do it in all the surfaces in tennis. For me, I've seen his ability, even at his young age. I'm seeing what he's doing. I've watched most of his matches, and he's somebody that is fearless and can take on anybody. So the signs are there. I don't know how it will be in years to come, but when you look at all this, you will know that he's somebody that in future he wants to dominate the tennis arena. So let's see how it goes for him. But I'm seeing somebody that will take over from the likes of Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and also his mentor, Rafael Nadal.
All right, so let's say it goes for Carlos Alcaraz going forward. He's still leading the ATP rankings ahead of Novak Djokovic and Daniel Medvedev as I stand. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it pans out for him in the coming days. Still talking about tennis, Andy Murray has returned to Great Britain Davis Cup team for the ties against Australia, France, and Switzerland in Manchester next month. The three-time Grand Slam champion was left out of the squad for the 3-1 win against Colombia in February. Murray, who is 36 years, was integral to Britain's 2015 victory, their first Davis Cup win in 79 years. The top two nations in Group B for the group stage in Manchester qualified for November's final in Malaga. And that's a very huge one, of course, for the man Andy Murray. We've seen a whole lot of improvements, from the man. And I think talking about the latest ATP ranking, he's not that down the lane, just like we used to see before. The man, I think, is between the range of 30 to 40 when it comes to the ranking at this point in time. What do you make of this bit of resurgence from Andy Murray?
I think he's somebody that has suffered lots of injuries in the past and very long time injuries, and he's trying to be fit now. And before now, he was down the ranking. So he's trying to win games, win maybe ATP tournaments, try to go far in ATP tournaments. When you go far in competitions like this, it helps to boost your ranking. So he's just trying to get fit again, and he's a very good player. I think if not for injuries, maybe he would have won more Grand Slam titles and all that. So for me, it's going to take. You need to be consistent for like a year plus, even 2 years, for you to come up the rankings. And I think he's doing that. I've seen his performance in.
He doesn't even need to be say consistent in 2 years. Winning the Grand Slams.
Yes, can even boost. Yes,
skyrockets your ranking.
Exactly. And for me, he just needs to do it. I think it seems that he's fitter now. His body is okay now. I don't know whether he's on the wrong side, but for me, he just needs to win titles, win ATP titles. If you can do more, win a Grand Slam, I think you'll be there again, you'll be counted again. So for me, it's still a long way for him to go. I think we have the new, I don't know what I would call it, the new cats. Even the old guys are still there trying to make things happen. So he just needs to be consistent, like I said. Win ATP games, win Grand Slam games, try to go far in all the competitions you go. I think that will really boost his ranking. I know it's not far again. You just need to, at least before the year runs out, maybe he might get to top 10 or even top 20.
All right, so let's see how it goes. It all depends on his performance, of course, going forward. Let's take a look at the WTA rankings now. By reaching the semi-finals this past week in Montreal, Iga Swiatek extended her stay as the world #1 and has a 984-point lead on Arina Sabalenka. Iga Swiatek holds the top spot for her 72nd week, a mark she has held since April 4th, 2022. With Sabalenka falling in the round of 16, Swiatek will extend her stay at #1 after Cincinnati, as well as likely earning her top 4 seed at the US Open. Now, Jessica Pegula firmed up her world #3 ranking by winning the title at Montreal. Pegula has won 16 matches at WTA 1000 tournament this year, tied with Sabalenka for the third most behind only Elena Rybakina and Iga Swiatek as well. But take a look at the latest ATP ranking. Iga Swiatek, like I mentioned earlier, is number one with 9,730 points. Arena Sabalenka second with 8,746 points. Jessica Pegula third with 6,030 points. Elon Rybakina fourth with 5,755 points. Oshoboa fifth with 4,746 points. Caroline Garcia, of course, taking up the sixth position as it stands, and the likes of Korikov taking up the seventh position with 3,760 points. Maria Sakari taking up the eighth position with 3,510 points. Petra Victova taking up the ninth position with 3,445 points, and Marketa Vondrousova took up the 10th position with 3,211 points. As it stands. Okay, what do you make of the WTA ranking? Any surprises?
No, no surprises for me. I think Iga Swiatek is what number one.
She's
I think
been there for about
yes,
72 weeks now.
yes, she's been for me the most consistent of them all. We saw Marketa Vondrousova.
When you say she's consistent, we've not really seen Iga Swiatek. We've not really seen that sparkling performance so far. From her this year, and that's why if you take a look at it, Arina Sabalenka is gradually getting closer. Don't forget, talking about the Wimbledon that got concluded. If Sabalenka, if she has won that one, she would have actually, top of the ATP ranking. But due to the fact that yes, I think she was also there, I think in the quarter or semi-final of that one. Even Iga Swiatek as well was beaten, by a name nobody thought, of course, would have eliminated her in that competition. Take a look at what we've seen so far. Iga Swiatek should not only been on her A game. If you ask me, I don't know if you agree.
After I think yes, this year she's not been that consistent like maybe the other year. I think in some Grand Slams she's won some, but the last one, which was the Wimbledon Open, she was not there. Yeah, she was defeated. She did not win it, and for me, he's there because of maybe the points she has accumulated. Maybe this year, I think anyhow you look at it, I think she's been the most consistent of. See, because we don't really see people trying to dominate that, especially the WTA. Today you will see Iga Swiatek. Tomorrow you will see Arina Sabalenka. Today you will see another. In fact, everybody was surprised when Marketa Vondrousova won the Wimbledon Open. Nobody gave her a chance. So there are surprises in that side of tennis, the WTA. There is always surprises. You see somebody coming up today, you see another person coming up tomorrow. But when you look at the performances, maybe in the last 2 years, I still think that Iga Swiatek is, for me, the most consistent of them all. But a lot of things might still change. Before now, there will also be WTA tournaments before the US Open. So she has to be very consistent. If not, there are people coming up. Arina Sabalenka, for me, has done well this year. He's pushing. I know the point is still very far, 900 and something. But if they can be able to maybe win an ATP tournament and all that, maybe one or two, I think they'll be giving her a run for her money. So Iga Swiatek should just find a way to be consistent again. I think after losing out on the Wimbledon, I think I know she's not really very happy. Maybe she thought that maybe she would dominate like she did last year, but it has not really been so. So let's see how it goes for Iga Swiatek. I know the other people are still there. Jessica Pegula, the lady from Tunisia, Anjoba, is still there, bringing up good performances. So let's see how it goes in the WTA. But for me, I also see that area as people that are not really consistent. In fact, so much inconsistency in the women tennis.
All right, since talking about the female category of tennis, we hear American veteran Venus Williams beat a top 20 player for the first time in 4 years with victory over Russia Kamaditova. Was such an impressive award for Venus Williams. She beat Veronika Kamaditova in Cincinnati. And of course, she fought back from a double breakdown in each set to win a 6-4, 7-5 against 16th ranked Kamaditova. The seven-time major singles champion smiled broadly as she celebrated winning at a US tournament for the first time in more than 3 years. Now, Williams will play China's Kun Hyun Sing or Belarus' Alexandra Sasnanovic in the second round. Now, the former world number one will look to win back-to-back matches on the WTA Tour for the first time since 2019 events in Sicily and Nati. What do you make of this win? For Venus Williams, after 4 years, you're beating the top 20 ranked player.
I like the way she's pushing herself. She still thinks that
43 years of age.
yeah, she still thinks that she can still carry on. I like that. I like that she still has that motivation to carry on. It's not easy, you know. In sports, when you get to a certain age, you lose so many things. You lose your speed. The energy will not be like maybe when you are 19 or 20. The zeal also. In fact, coming from her being a top athlete, yes, she once dominated the world of tennis, the WTA, with her sister Serena. I think when you get to a certain level, when you get to a certain age, that motivation is not still there. It's not there again. But I like the way she's carrying herself. She still thinks she can do it, even at 40 something years. And for me, I don't think she will be going far in competitions. Maybe beat one, maybe get knocked out. Sometimes I've seen her go for tournaments. She will not beat anybody. They will defeat her. She will go. I think she's just trying to be competitive. But if you ask me, in my honest opinion, I will ask her to retire. But I'm not her. I'm not in her body, so I don't really know what is pushing her. The sister, we have not really seen her sister. So many things. Her sister kind of is not there again, but she's still carrying on. So let's see how it goes. Maybe she might make history this year in the US Open. I know she's trying to be fit and all that, playing these tournaments in the US to be ready for the US Open. I don't know how it's going to be for her, whether she can be able to carry on. Maybe she might even make history. Maybe go to the tournament and even win it. So it's going to be so much for Venus Williams. I like how she's pushing herself, but we know. Is she going to go far? I don't think so.
All right, let's see how it goes for Venus Williams. We'll take a short break now, and then when we come back from the break, we'll take you through the world of football and a lot to unravel down here when it comes to Nigerian football. Please stay with us.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. not the counterpunch. Telling him not to 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 counterpunch.
Come back to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. It's time to talk football on the show, and we start with the Nigerian Premier League. The Nigerian Premier Football League board has postponed the kick-off of the 2023 and 2024 Nigerian Premier League season by 2 weeks. The new league season was initially proposed by the Nigerian Premier League board to kick off on August 26, a date ratified by the Club Owners Association on August 4th after a consultative meeting between the board and the association. Now, in a new development, however, the Nigerian Premier League board has now communicated to the Club Owners Association that due to prevailing considerations, the league kick-off will now be postponed to the weekend of September 9, 2023. The consideration were to allow all teams featuring in continental football the opportunities to kickstart the season same weekend as the remaining teams in the league. Winning champions Yimba FC, Federation Cup winners Bender Insurance and Southwest Giants Bremo Stars will be in action in CAF inter-club competitions on the weekend of August 26 with Yimba facing Libya, Ahali Abenkasi, Insurance facing Asu Chef of Algeria, while Remo face Ghanaian side Medema CS. Another reason cited is to ensure all modalities as regards the streaming of matches through the Nigerian Premier League platform. Okay, why are all this consideration? I thought it is something that is supposed to be well planned. Last weekend, the Premier League started. Even before the league started, the fixtures were out, already. In fact, you can look at it and know when Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, we're going to play their matches and all that. But the fixtures have not even been done, and now we're hearing of shifts in the resumption of the league, citing issues of the teams that are playing their trade in the continent to be prepared as well, is installing cameras that will stream the matches, and all of that, and they're putting the stadiums in place as well. Why are these excuses are coming at this point in order to shift the dates for the league resumption?
Well, I don't know. One thing about the our league is we always have issues like this. I've not seen a season where they said the league will start in August and it starts in August.
But there was a whole lot of confidence on the leadership of Benga Elegbeleye. Taking a look at what they did last time, everyone thought, okay, if they have come out to give us the word that the league will commence on the 26th, that everyone thought it was going to be so because of the level of trust that so many have actually gotten for the leadership of Benga Elegbeleye.
Well, I know. Last season was an abridged league, quite very different and all that. It was a shorter version of the league, and this time around they want to do something the normal regular season. And for me, I know they have good plans for the league, but all these things should have been done on time. All these things should have been planned before now. In fact, everything should have been ready even before the due date. But I don't really know why they are not really ready. I'm very skeptical about the September date. I can even tell you here that it might not start on that date with the way I'm seeing things. So for me, they should plan there early. When they plan early, you can be able to come up with ways to make the league better. Not rushing. The league want to start next weekend. Things are not really in place and all that. So for me, I'm not really that happy it's not start. I wanted it to start in August, move in the same calendar with other leagues in Europe, end the same time. Now they'll be rushing things. And one thing about our league is we like going for holidays. If there are the Christians are having holidays, we go for holidays. If the Muslims are having holidays, we go for holidays. So all those kind of things, it's not really helping the league. So for me, I hope everything will be in place. One thing about the league is if you are doing all these things so that the league will come out good, no problem. I don't have any issue with that. We want quality in the league. We need good officiating. We need good pitches and all that. So if all these things will be done to make the league better, I have no problem with it. But when you waste all these times, waste all our energy, waste everything, and when the league starts, it's still the same thing, then who are we deceiving? So for me, if all these things they are doing is to make the league better, no problem. I have no problem with it.
Let's stay away from the Nigerian Premier League as we take a look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, with 26 days to the Nigerian Super Eagles final qualifying match of the 2023 African Cup of Nations, the team has been without a coach. Now, after the 10th September match, the Super Eagles will on any date from 13 to 21 November also observe the first of the 10 match days in the 2026 World Cup qualifying series. Now, to date, no statement has been made on the technical crew for the team since the tenure of Portuguese coach José Peseiro ended on 30th of June 2023. Now, it is not clear if the contracts will be renewed. Now, if not, there have been no information on a possible replacement. And Nigeria may have already qualified for the 2023 African Cup of Nations, but the last qualifying fixture could serve as preparatory to a more challenging World Cup qualifier coming up in November, as well as giving the team a better position in the monthly FIFA ranking, which will also shape the teams that will be seeded in the final draw for the African Cup of Nations. Now, the last statement credited to the Nigerian Football Federation leadership regarding the coach of the Super Eagles was that public opinion was to decide the fate of Peseiro, and the modalities of aggregating the public opinion has yet to be put in place. What do you make of this danger ahead of the World Cup qualifiers for the Super Eagles?
I think they need to find a way to. I like the coach. I don't think the coach is that bad.
It's a zero.
Yeah, I think he's the best we have for now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's the best we have for now. So I know that we didn't go for the last World Cup. Not his fault. Not his fault actually. I
It
think
was not there.
he was not there. So he has tried to qualify us for the Nations Cup in Cote d'Ivoire. We're almost there. Now the plan is to go to the World Cup in America in 2026. The groups are there already. We know our opponents. So everything should be done so that we know who is tinkering this team. If it's Jesse Pesero, we know he's the one. If maybe you want to go local, let's have the profile of the people you want to appoint. Let them start scouting these players. I know the players are already there. Let them start their homework, because you might say, okay, maybe the biggest team in our group is South Africa. That's a lie. That's a lie. Every team we want to fight to qualify. Now the ticket is the chances, or how will I put, the number of teams that will represent Africa has been extended to 9 plus additional 1 if you do intercontinent qualifiers. Now this is an opportunity for us to qualify in a very simpler way, I should put it. All you need to do is just stop your group and qualify. So we need to take every qualifier very serious. So we need a coach. For me, I like continuity. He's been there with the lads, even though people are saying the performance sometimes can be on and off, but at least they have somebody they are listening to. They have a coach they are listening to, even though the coach, I don't know what he's telling them or what is not telling them. They have somebody they are listening to for months now. So I think he should continue with what he's doing. I think the first task was to qualify Nigeria for the Nations Cup. He's done that.
Okay.
Now you should give him another contract, even if maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Okay. The plan should be to qualify for the World Cup. Right. If he does that, you can still extend the contract. So for me, we just need him to be there to navigate these games. For me, it's better than even the local people that have. Right, so that's just it.
Let's stay away from the Super Eagles. Let's take a look at the game yesterday. Manchester United were national against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it was Rafael Varane who rescued the Red Devils, yesterday against Wolves.
Yeah, very very tough game yesterday. I saw the game. Wolves tried. I think they gave a very big performance yesterday. They were unlucky not to score. They thought they had a penalty.
They had more of the chances.
Yes, they thought they had a penalty, which VAR looked at and they waved it off. And for me, Man had to do it in the last minute. And for me, the performance was not really that great. I think in terms of domination, they didn't really dominate that game. In large part of that game, they didn't dominate. So they just have to do more. I know it's the first game of the season. A lot needs to be done. And the shape of the team is not really there. Some players didn't really come to the party and all that. So a lot needs to be done in that team, Manchester United. And for me, it's good starting with a win. I think it gives you that confidence to navigate other games. I know there will be tougher games as the season goes on. So for me, it was good getting all 3 points at Old Trafford yesterday. But Ten Hag and his team need to do more. I don't know whether they are still interested in the transfer market. I still think they need 1 or 2 players. Especially in defense, they still need 1 or 2 players there. So to make them tick. So for me, good performance yesterday, but for me, they can do more.
All right. At this point in time, we'll call it a wrap on the show. We'll be back by 6 p.m. To bring you up to speed with the latest happening as well, evolving around the world of sports. It promises to be another exciting time talking sports on Atlantic Television Network. Huge thanks to Woki for joining us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
All right, don't forget, peace and unity was the pathways to progress. My name is Kinsley Emmanuel. Thanks for watching.
counterpunch.